Good evening. Thanks for being here. We're going to have to wait for it, but there is a new holiday on the horizon for British Columbians. February 18th, 2013, Family Day comes to BC. That's a new holiday on the calendar to give you a break from those midwinter blahs. Family Day was just one of the surprises today in the throne speech, the first from Premier Christy Clark. She also is promising to unclog BC's crowded courts and to put cameras in the courtroom for the trials of the Stanley Cup rioters. But there was much more than that. CTV's legislature reporter Stephen Andrew has the story.
The beginning of any parliament is enshrined with tradition, and the start of the 39th session of the legislature is no different. BC's Lieutenant Governor laying out the government's agenda for the year. And for Premier Christy Clark, it is a chance to crawl out from under the shadow of Gordon Campbell.
Every generation speaks of its own unique place in time, of the great forces of change bearing down upon it.
Perhaps the biggest change of the Clark years, the introduction of a new holiday beginning February 18th, 2013. Family Day will be added to the calendar across the province.
I kind of like the sound of that. I own a business in town, but you know, there's that little lull in February. We don't get a set holiday, so it makes people happy.
Clark says her priority is creating jobs. Much of that plan has already been laid out. The Premier is also promising safer communities. Despite violence and property crime dramatically down, she sees the Stanley Cup riots as a dark stain on the province and believes people lack confidence in the justice system. To restore trust, Clark is asking the Stanley Cup riot trials be televised.
So if there is a place to start the discussion about whether or not cameras and audio in courtrooms is useful, I think this is the place.
New laws regulating scrap metal sales are expected to deal with theft and the destruction of property. Disputes over traffic tickets will be streamlined in court, and retired judges will be reappointed to tackle the backlog of criminal cases.
It's not the whole answer. It's part of the answer. We're going to keep working. There's a lot more we've got planned and a lot more we'll be doing.
But hanging over all of the Clark Liberals' initiatives, the economy.
The economic challenges swirling around the globe are daunting.
The government says those forces are why public servants, including teachers, are being held to a 0% salary increase. But the Liberals appear to be offering an olive branch, saying public servants should be treated fairly and suggesting increases could come in 2012. And the Liberals are also reaching out to teachers, promising to modernize education and spending money to enhance learning for Aboriginal and special needs students.
It is in the tens of millions. It will be growing over a 3-year period.
BC's teachers are skeptical and not impressed.
If it's the insufficient scheme that they tabled with us earlier this month, that simply won't do it.
But if the Liberals were looking for a change in direction to bring about a change in heart from their critics, it isn't happening.
They clearly were looking around for a grab bag of things because they had to have a throne speech rather than having any kind of plan for the province.
A reality of tough economic times, perhaps, but one the Clark Liberals want to overcome with another tradition. Actions speaking louder than words.
And our Stephen Andrew joins us now live outside the legislature. Stephen, I'll get more of the general reaction to the throne speech in a moment, but I think a lot of folks wondering tonight why the new holiday doesn't start next year.
Well, basically, the Liberals do not want to put that cost onto business too soon. They want to give them a year to get ready for it, and that's going to take a little bit of adjustment. It has been said by the business community that they don't support that. That's going to be a major hit, so Christy Clark giving them a year and a bit to get ready for that, Hudson.
What other reaction have you heard down there today, Stephen?
Generally pretty good. I would say that there's some skepticism obviously rolling around. Definitely a lot of questions surrounding the teachers. I mean, this throne speech coming in at a time when those negotiations appear not to be going very well. One big question that has been asked of Education Minister George Abbott today, and that's about class size. Are they going to give on that? He doesn't see that as a major priority, Hudson. He said, you know, if we put $150 million into education, that is going to decrease the class size by 1 student in every classroom. He's not looking to go there. He thinks there's better ways to deal with that. Right now, they're looking at adjusting the entire education system from the point of view that they're going to make it safer for students and dealing with issues such as the College of Teachers.
All right, interesting days ahead. Stephen Andrew at the legislature. Thank you.
You're welcome.